Saitama Stacker channel. My name's Dean, and I'll be your host today. Hey, let's see. I've got a lot of great stuff, I think, for you today. We're going to talk a little bit about the giveaway of 20 billion Saitama. I'm going to do a buy during the video tonight and just show you, how that works on Coinbase wallet, and also just reaffirming that I think it's a great opportunity to buy in. I'm actually a little bit bummed out because I would have done this off camera earlier, but I couldn't get my funds to transfer in my Coinbase from my bank. So I kind of missed actually buying at a better price, but I still think it's a great price, and I am going to increase my position. We're going to have a little discussion about risk and reward and volatility, and how you can prepare yourself for that, basically, and maybe some strategies to reduce your risk. There was a great article that talked about a price prediction for 2025 for Saitama, and we'll talk about that also a little bit. Great new content and a Russ sighting. Russ is the COO of Saitama, so we'll show you that video, at least where it is. I'll point you that direction and give you a link, and then we'll get into rewards. So with that said, let me take a quick look at my wallet here and I'll show you what we're doing for the giveaway. So in my trust wallet, I have 20 billion Saitama. I'm going to give those away on October 31st. And what I'm doing is a jelly bean jar game, essentially. So currently the holders for Saitama are 58,677. We're just going to take guesses for how many holders will there be on October the 31st. The person who's the closest below and the closest above will get 10 billion Saitama apiece out of my personal wallet. So just something for fun. Just all you have to do to win is drop a comment in this video with how many holders you think there will be on October 31st. Let's take a look here. So I was able to transfer funds from my Robinhood to my Coinbase wallet. And so you can see here, I've got some Ethereum, and we're going to buy some Saitama. So the four squares at the bottom take you to a web browser. You may need to put in uniswap.org there in the URL spot in the top. I was looking at this earlier to check gas fees. And let's see, I've got just over $1,000, so I'm going to need to save enough to pay the gas fees. So about $950-ish. Yeah, let's try it. I've already changed my slippage to 5%. That's just the little gear in the upper right-hand corner. And let's see what comes back. So gas fees are $69. I think that puts me under my total that I have available. Let's see if the transaction will go through. So it's a little higher gas fee than I'd like to pay, but I wanted to demonstrate the buy on the channel, and so we'll just put it out there and see if she goes through. And I'll check back on that in a minute. In the meantime, let's start talking a little bit. Oh, for those of you who haven't seen, it shows the transmission was submitted. Now, under this pending portion here, you can see there, it just went through. So it shows that we're swapping 0.27 ETH for what looks like 96 billion Saitama. If I view it on the Explorer, you can see there where it says success in the status line. Now, if that comes back and has like some other kind of a thing like failed, you may actually lose your gas fees. But if you increase your slippage like I did to 5%, I haven't had one fail for quite a while. So back in my Saitama or my Coinbase wallet, my Saitama have jumped up there. They were 1,030 some odd billion, 37 billion. Now I have 1,132 billion. So my transaction went through. I've got a little more Saitama, and I think that's going to be good for me here in the near term and in the long run. And I'll talk about that in this video as to why. Okay. I don't know what you used to be, but I definitely, it's the Saitama website. All right. We'll bounce that back open. All right, real quick look at the fundamentals for Saitama. Now, this could be a longer video, so if you need to put your speed at 1.25 or 1.5, save yourself some time and get your day back, that's totally fine with me. All right, we've got volume of 12,170,000, market cap just below a trillion, geez, I wish, just below a billion, 989 million. Let's see how that stacks up to yesterday. So I have a spreadsheet that I just keep daily tabs. So the 58,677 holders is an increase of 708 holders from yesterday. So we're seeing that growth pop back up a little bit. I would suspect that we'd be getting some new holders today, and definitely there are people, just like I just did, that are increasing their investment in Saitama because we kind of dipped back below that zero. And I think it's an attractive entry point. My initial entry was considerably better than that, but I like this price in terms of, I think there's a lot of upside potential. So volume of 12 million, again, we're watching that volume kind of climb back up. And I like high volume because the volume, it increases the reflections or the rewards you get for being a Saitama holder. And it also increases the burn. And the more tokens we burn, the less there are in the market, and therefore the remaining ones should increase in value over time. Our rank has popped up a little bit, 2757. Now, those of you who are watching the channel know I'm making this content to try to contribute to the Saitama community in two goals that I have personally. One is I'd like to see 1 million holders of the token. Right now we have about 58,000, almost 59,000. So I've got a ways to go. And I want to see this ranked as a top 100 coin. So these videos are my way of doing my part to push the project along and give the community a hand. All right, let's get into risk, reward, and volatility. So I created just a little graph here, okay? And this is a risk reward graph. So on the y-axis over here, we have return, and on the x-axis, we're looking at risk. Now, you'll notice that the points start a little higher than zero. And this point in a risk reward relationship is what's called the risk-free rate of return. So in investments, there are investments you can buy that have really relatively no risk. Like, for instance, short-term U.S. Treasury bonds. Okay, now those right now, they don't pay 3%. They actually pay less than that. But historically speaking, 2 to 3% is this risk-free rate of reward, meaning you can put your money in there and you're pretty much guaranteed you're not going to lose your money, but you're not going to earn very much on that money either. So as you start to seek higher returns, you have to take on additional risk, okay? And as you take on additional risk, the chance that you could potentially lose money also increases, okay? So as you notice, as we go out, and these are just arbitrary numbers, there is no risk level of 10. It's just increasing risk and seeking increased rewards, okay? So, you know, if I'm looking at maybe targeting a 10% return in this particular example, there's a chance that maybe I could have a negative return also. So the basic thing to understand is that risk and reward are tied together. Okay, now you can go to Las Vegas and you can literally double your money almost instantaneously. Okay, you can pull a lever, you can play a hand of blackjack, and you can double your investment immediately. On a slot machine, you might more than double your investment. But the probability is that you also could lose your investment 100%. So 100% increase, 100% downside. Okay? So if you look at what's happening in the stock market, I've got a Business Insider article here that talks about the average rate of return for the stock market in the last 10 years. Okay, and they cite that the average 10-year stock market return is about 9.2%. If you look at the S&P 500 index, that's about 13.6% annual returns. Okay, annual returns. 13.6%. Okay, now the reason that I'm pointing this out is if you're expecting to make 13%, well, there's a chance that you could lose. And they actually have some instances here, okay? These are the actual returns of the S&P 500. So 15% in 2010, then 2.1%, 16%, 32%. You scroll down here to 2018, the market actually had a negative return of 4.4%. So in that year, people lost some money. Okay, so people who are investing in the stock market, they're kind of targeting that 10% annual return. And the market can have wild swings. I mean, there are some in here where you're talking like a 32% return, almost a 20% return in 2020, 2017, a 20% return. So those are great years. But in 2015, it was a 1.4% return. So, it's just varying. So this variation in investments is what's called volatility. So people who are invested in the stock market, they know that there's a chance that their investment could go down. But if they hold over time, that, the experience and the statistics would pretty much say, if you hold long enough, that you're going to achieve a return of around 10% on average. Okay. The reason I'm bringing this up is because cryptocurrency is a relatively new marketplace, and the volatility that's associated with cryptocurrency has been considerably higher. Okay, so if we looked at Saitama's price just today, for instance, Saitama this morning when I woke up, it was around where it was when I went to bed last night. It was 7011, and then it started to move down. And if I can tell you, if you looked at like a 1 month chart, okay, this kind of movement right here, this kind of volatility where it goes up by several 100%, it's very easy to manage from an emotional standpoint volatility when the price is moving up. But when this price starts to move down, the emotions are very different, and people have a tendency to panic a little bit. So let's go back to the 1 day. At one point, it dropped all the way down to 807977. Okay, so just below 808. This can be a scary moment for people. Okay, you're talking a 30% decline in a matter of 2 hours. So what starts happening in people's minds? All of a sudden they start thinking, well, it's going to go to zero. Maybe I need to sell. What should I do? And then the friend who told them how they just doubled their money or tripled their money on Saitama, all of a sudden this person's calling that friend and saying, hey, what did you get me into? This isn't good. I just lost, I started with $1,000 and now I have 700 in 2 hours, Well, you have to start asking yourself at these points in time, okay, why are we investing, right? Now with cryptocurrency, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of brand new ones and people are jumping into them and they're very exciting and there's lots of volatility. And if it's volatility going up, happy days. But if it's going down, it's scary. And so you have to understand, why are you investing, okay? For one, of course, we're all investing because we want to make a profit. Why are we investing in cryptocurrencies instead of in like a U.S. Treasury bond or in interest at the bank? Well, it's because we're hoping to get a higher return, right? If the bank is offering 1% in a savings account and cryptocurrency friend that I have doubled his money in a week, that starts to look pretty intriguing to me. But we have to remember that association or that graph of risk versus reward, that the more volatility or the more return we're hoping to achieve, the higher the risk is. So I just want to show you the volatility in the cryptocurrency market, okay? And we can look at the 24-hour and the 7-day, but Bitcoin, the good news is pretty much everything is up. There's only maybe one in the top 60 or so that's down. But Bitcoin up 22% in the last 7 days. Binance up 28%. Dogecoin up 27%. Polkadot up 12%. Terra Luna 22%. There's a couple that are down, but marginally. I mean, 15, 18, 14, 21, 22, 24% returns, 189% return on Shiba Inu in the last week. Okay. And I'm still holding some of that token. So I'm feeling really good about that one right now, but it didn't do anything at all. I mean, it was trading in a very narrow band for about 2.5 months, which is in investment time, a very short time horizon. But in cryptocurrency, it feels like a long time because other cryptocurrencies are very much on the move. Axie Infinity up 77%. Okay, if you can achieve these kind of returns in a week, you have to know that there's a downside potential too. So if we were to just look at, like say Ethereum, okay, anybody who's investing in Saitama is going to know something about Ethereum because you have to use Ethereum to, or at least some type of Ethereum-based token, an ERC token to buy. Okay, so we're going to look at let's go to the 1 year. The 3-month almost captures it, but look what happens here with Ethereum. Okay, it was $4,000 per coin in May. And then it drops all the way down to $1,800 per coin 2 months later. So in 2 months, it went down 50%. Okay, the panic signal is going off here, right? And a lot of people are going to sell out. They're going to sell out for fear. And then here we are 2 months later again, and it's right back up there. So people who bought in here have doubled their money. People who sold out here lost half of their money if they bought in at the top. So this is why I'm saying we have to get accustomed, first of all, to volatility with cryptocurrency. That's why I say this isn't for people with a weak stomach, but there's things you can do to help manage that risk. The first thing is never invest money that you can't afford to lose. Okay, so do not invest your money for your kids' college savings or your bills, your house payment, those kind of things. Have money that's budgeted for investing in cryptocurrency. You should also be investing in non-cryptocurrency investments. And I can show you kind of how I'm doing that, or at least where I'm doing it. But then when it comes to investing in crypto, you have to know, how do you feel about this long term? You know, are you just trying to time the market and make a quick gain and get out? If you are, be very careful because, you know, you could get lots of wins, and in a very short period of time, you could give all of that back on a single trade because the volatility in 1 day can be 50% or more. Shiba Inu's considerably more than that. And it was upside again, which, like I say, most people don't have a hard time dealing with the upside volatility. But when that turns over and goes the other way, so this is up 48%. At one point in time, it was up much more than that. Let's see. Okay, back here, we're talking up. Yeah, it was up over, they had burned that digit and jumped into the 402 range. So from down here to here, I mean, these are massive gains. You know, it's 180% in the last 7 days. Easy to handle that. But if you flip this chart over, or if person would have bought in right here, and it's 1.8, all of a sudden it's down here at 1.5. I mean, you're talking about pretty substantial moves. They panic and sell. Oh no, it's going to go all the way back down to where it was. The next thing you know, it turns back around and it's back up. So what I'm saying is be careful if you're trying to time the market. Okay. If you're day trading, I wish you the best of luck. It just isn't for me. I don't personally have the constitution to do that. So what I'm trying to do are buy coins that I believe in, ones that I think will do well in the long term, and I'm trying to stay with them. And I'm not planning on selling them unless something fundamentally changes, okay? Unless something really goes wrong. If there's some kind of legislation that says cryptocurrencies would be outlawed, which they did in China recently, but the United States is actually seeming to favor cryptocurrencies, or at least not be targeting them with with regulation that would inhibit our ability to invest. Okay, Shiba Inu, Shiba Inu, they did well. Saitama, if I look at Saitama and where they're at, where I think they're going, I'm still extremely bullish on it. You just saw me buy more. Why am I bullish? Because Saitama has this incredible dev team, okay? These people are very bright and they're very driven and motivated. And the plans that they have for this cryptocurrency are very big right now, okay? I believe there's some big announcements coming. As a matter of fact, I watched a AMA live stream that I'm going to point you to here shortly with Russell and a YouTuber whose channel is called Cuffin the Dip. And Russell is so bullish about this. He knows what's coming. He's making big deals and he's talking about them and he's saying big news announcements coming this week. Well, these good news events tend to drive the price in the short term. In the long term, they're going to have to come, they're going to have to bring something. They're going to have to come through with the promises they're making. So the Saitamask launch in November, if you're not familiar, that is a crypto wallet and much, much more that the development team is launching in a big event in Vegas, November 13th. There are tickets available actually on the website right now. It's under the Vegas tab. So you have to have a reason why. Why am I investing in Saitamask, in Saitama? Why am I personally? This is a question. I can answer that very easily. My answer is they have an active development team with big plans and they're executing the plans and they've already demonstrated that they can come through. Okay. And if they can come through up to this point, if they continue doing what they say they're going to do, this is going to be in a much better place in the future. Okay. So unless something fundamentally changes, the development team changes, or something changes in the environment, I don't really have a reason to get out of this crypto unless, I need profits or I need to take some money to take care of some bills or take care of my family. I think my best option is to leave it in and be patient and give it time. Okay. So talking about time, there was a article in the Market Realist, and it is a price prediction article for Saitama for 2025. In crypto years, wow. In crypto time, 4 years is a long time. Saitama just barely launched in May. But these guys are giving it a go, and they drop a price prediction. And that price prediction is right here. Okay, Digital Coin Price expects the price of Saitama to reach, this is 70416 by 2025, which implies upside of about 190% from current price levels. Okay, there's another one here. Somebody else saying they actually may see a decline in the price of Saitama in a year, but long term, see it coming up. According to price prediction, 2025, it could reach, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2. So gains of 40%. I think that one is pessimistic and less than where I see it. But let's say that first one were to be right, and that seems actually, to me, I think we can do a lot better than this too. It makes me wonder if they're accounting for the burn, if they're accounting for all of the amazing things that are happening right now. So I actually, in my spreadsheet, I basically just took that price, 70416, and said, if it were to reach that price by 2025, what would my investment be worth? Okay, so currently my investment's worth about $10,000. Doesn't include the money that I just put in, but for this illustration, it's fine. Would be worth $43,000. So 400% increase over, a 4-year period of time. That massively outpaces the stock market. But the volatility is there and there's higher levels of risk. And I'm comfortable with that because Saitama is only one of my investment holdings. Okay. So I'm just saying, know your why. Why am I here invested in Saitama? When the price went down this morning, all I could think is I was angry that I couldn't get my money in to buy it at that low price, 808. I wanted in really bad, but it just didn't work out, and I was having a really busy day. And then I thought, well, I might as well demonstrate the buy on the video. Okay, so how can we mitigate the risk a little bit? Let me pull open my phone here, and I'll just show you just roughly, briefly what I've got going on. Okay, so I have a Robinhood account. I have an Acorns account. The Acorns is just slow savings over time. I'll get into these at another day. I think they're good things. You don't need to have all of this stuff. But at the bottom, I have an Edward Jones account. I have a D.A. Davidson account. Those two accounts hold my retirement savings from the 20 some odd years I've been working in the, out in the workforce. Okay. When I started my investment in Saitama, it represented about 0.5% of what my total savings are. Okay. So if Saitama is 100% of your investment, it can be a lot more emotional, than if you've got the risk spread out against lots of different kinds of investments. Even in cryptocurrencies, I've got, several different holdings. So while Saitama was going down today, the Shiba Inu was up, and the two kind of balanced each other out. So you're going to have to make a decision about which investments are right for you. There are tons of different options. Why Saitama? Why Shiba Inu for me? Because both of them have development teams that are really doing something with the projects. And a lot of those top 100 tokens have similar things. Okay, so it doesn't have to be these two. Doesn't have to be anything. That's up for you to decide what's best for you. So let me just show you briefly this video here. Again, the YouTuber's name is Cuffin the Dip. And I'll leave a link to this video. He had Russ in a live stream yesterday. You should watch Russ. This guy, he's got a lot of things rolling around up his head, and he knows a lot that he's not really able to tell us. If he doesn't have verified proof, essentially, of what he's saying, then he could unduly be influencing the market. And they're pretty careful about that. But yeah, he talks about what's going on, that there's going to be lots of big news dropping here in the next week or two. We know that Saitama is sponsoring an MMA fight, that we're going to be in the middle of the ring with our logo broadcast to a bunch of people. The Saitamask wallet launching in November. So lots of big stuff coming, you guys. So I'll share this link in the description. If you get a chance, jump on there and watch Russ's portion. Cuffin the Dip is another option for you for YouTube content creators. There's lots of good ones out there. So, and I'm happy to share space with 100% of them. I don't care where you get your information. If you find somebody that really jives with you, follow them and keep up with the content. Share it with other people. I mean, this is a community-driven project. So the larger we build the community, the more people that take interest in it, the more excitement there is around it, the more use cases that the development team bring, the more value the token's going to have, and the better this investment's going to be for everybody who's in it in the long term. With that said, I'm going to jump back over really quickly and show you my rewards for the last 24 hours. So prior to my purchase, my token count was 1,037,450,783,990. That is an increase in tokens of 214,353,981 from yesterday. So free 214 million just for being a Saitama holder. My total reward since August 31st, 8,666,567,000. So I'm pushing up now on 9 billion in free Saitama tokens just for being a holder. If you want to learn more about that, go to saitamatoken.com, the ecosystem tab, and you can read all about the passive income system and the fact that there is a automatic burn built in, reducing the token count. Friends, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Check back with me tomorrow. I will leave this video up. At least I'll be taking comments until probably 10 o'clock p.m. tomorrow night for those who are putting in for the Jelly Bean Jar count. And then we'll shut that down and we'll start following it and see who lands closest to the mark and wins themselves 10 billion free Saitama tokens. Have a great night, and we'll see you tomorrow and watch our stacks grow together.